I am calling for yet another investigation into the Washington professional football franchise. I prefer an independent investigation. I'll settle for a good old-fashioned internal NFL investigation. I just need to know, how did early frontrunner for 2022 Executive of the Year Chris Ballard, how did he convince the Washington Commanders to give up a third-round pick in 2022, a third-round pick in 2023 if Carson Wentz plays 70% of the plays, swap 2022 second-round picks, allowing the Colts to move up higher in the second round, and pay the full $28 million due Carson Wentz this year? Like, I mean, maybe it's too soon and maybe it's inappropriate for me to be saying this given the very real investigations that have taken place about the Washington football franchise's workplace culture. But does somebody have pictures? How did they get Carson Wentz for that? How did the Colts get Carson Wentz for that? What is the fascination with Carson Wentz? Do the people in Washington evaluating Carson Wentz, were they just looking at his 2017 tape and thinking, oh, we can get that guy that used to light us up when he was in Philadelphia? As opposed to trading for somebody who's going to get lit up when he goes back to Philadelphia? This is their version of Ben Simmons. This is their version of Ben Simmons. Carson Wentz is going to go back to Philadelphia and get lit up.
No, hold on. Okay, at least Ben Simmons last year was an all-star. Okay, last year he was. At least Ben Simmons was in the running for Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, there were some real. I mean, in terms of he's going back to Philly, and it's not going to be pretty. That's what I mean. Okay, and he's probably going to struggle, given the way Carson Wentz plays under pressure. Like now, he's going to the DC media market. Like there's a difference between having urgency about addressing the quarterback position and being thirsty. Like all of that for Carson Wentz. Jeez. This is a story. You know what this is? This is a general manager story too. Hardy, you alluded to it. It's a general manager story. Chris Ballard, I gotta tell you, man, I like your style. Now you made a mistake. You made a mistake last year, and I can understand why he made it. So they gave up a third and a pick that ended up becoming a first last year. For the record, for those that forgot, they gave up a third and this year's first because Wentz played 75% of the plays. But this is how you turn a frown upside down. Carson Wentz had his best year with now Colts head coach Frank Reich. Reich was the offensive coordinator of the Philadelphia Eagles. Reich worked with Wentz. He had some of his best work with Reich. So now Reich is your head coach. Carson Wentz is having problems in Philadelphia. You say to yourself, all right, I've worked with him before. Everybody has a bad season. Everybody has a bit of a dip, a little bit of a lull. Let's bring him over here, and then we'll get some numbers out of him. And that's what they did. They got numbers out of him, but when it mattered most, he just fell apart. And you know what stat blows my mind? There are many Carson Wentz stats that just make you scratch your head. One of them is, in the second half of the season, he had 2 games where he threw for over 200 yards. 2. In the second half of the year. In a passing league, he had 2 games in the last half of the season where he threw just 200 yards. But more than that, Chris Ballard made that trade, and then the next year, not even a full calendar year after trading for Carson Wentz, he said, all right, I'm good. Let's get him out of here. And now that's his side of the story. On the other side, Martin Mayhew, I believe this is his second time being a general manager, right? Isn't this his second time around? Correct. And a lot of people say the cliche is, hey, listen, and everybody asks this question. It's a good question. I'm getting tired of hearing it. Even though it's a good question, I'm tired of it. If you could tell your younger self one thing, what would you tell your younger self? Martin Mayhew would just miss that whole thing. He'd say, nothing. Because, man, this is why you were a former general manager before you got this gig, doing stupid stuff like this. What's wrong with you? Why would you make this trade in March for Carson Wentz? You've canvassed the league, and what you're telling me is this is the best option? I don't believe that at all. And if this is your best option, you know what you should have done? Just sit there, wait in the draft, and you can draft somebody. There's a kid in college right now. At 11. Who's better for it. How about this? there's a kid on your roster who's better than Carson Wentz, and his name is Taylor Heineke. Heineke
yeah, I mean, look,
is a better quarterback. He's better than Carson Wentz.
Maybe
He's better than Carson Wentz.
Maybe it's the idea. Well, first of all, do you remember the days when you were caping up for Carson Wentz and how he was being treated as a scapegoat in Philadelphia? Yeah, fun
Call
times.
me Chris Ballard. Call me Michael Ballard Holley. I've learned from my ways. I've moved on. I've traded him too. I've traded him too. I'm good.
This I will say, okay? It's like, you know, the desperation is real. And this is a saying as old as we are, Michael, which is there are two types of general managers. The ones that are looking for quarterbacks and the ones that have quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. So there's a level of inflation given the supply or lack of supply and demand for true franchise quarterbacks. So I get, and not to mention, every team thinks they could be the one to fix them. They think, oh, you know what? Well, and they make excuses for who they want to make excuses for. Well, you know, we saw him in Philadelphia, and you know what? Things went poorly, but he showed flashes of the guy that went second overall in the draft. Okay, and then he gets to Indianapolis, and it's like, oh, it was 1 year. You know, it was a new environment. He didn't play that bad. He had 27 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. Right. You know what? I mean, wow. Look, like we can. What if we get him here? You know, with this supporting. So they always justify and rationalize the moves they want to make.
Our
so
system,
I can understand
coaches.
It. Yeah, I can understand it as far as, well, maybe the third time's a charm. It didn't work out in these two other spots, but maybe he ends up being somebody that we can, you know, get a reclamation project. But usually reclamation projects come for cheap. I just want to repeat, 2 third-round picks, maybe a second if he plays 70% of the plays. Shouldn't you have learned from Indianapolis' mistake when it comes to putting playing time thresholds on this guy? He plays 75% and they didn't make the playoffs and they lost their first round pick. And they move up in the second round and they're paying the entire salary. It should have been the reverse. Given that everybody knew that Carson Wentz was no longer going to be the Colts quarterback, it should have been one of those Cleveland Browns, Brock Osweiler trades where the Colts are giving Carson Wentz plus in exchange for the Commanders paying his salary.
Just get him. We'll give you something. We just want him out of our building.
And we're incentivized you to take him. That's how it should have gone.
That's right. But you know what? In my way too early executive of the year rankings, just so you know, on my ballot right now, my clear number one is George Payton in Denver. That's my one because he got a Hall of Fame quarterback. And his team went from a 7-10 team that you really didn't think that much about, 7-10, nice, didn't think about them, to, I think, the favorite in their division. I think they've suddenly become the best team in their division with Russell Wilson because, and I'll keep going, but I just want to just throw this in parenthetically. They gave up the third fewest points in football last year. Fewer points than the Rams, fewer points than the Niners, fewer points than
That's why I was
Chiefs
excited
and the
about
Titans
them.
and everybody
Remember
else.
they started 3-0? Remember they started 3-0? I was like, I believe in Denver, and they, you know, regressed to their usual 7-10 or whatever. But I was like,
7-10.
This team's legit. No, their defense, they're legit. They're legit across the board.
But George Payton is one,
but not
and
the
Chris
favorite.
Ballard is two.
But
Chris Ballard is two. Okay, we'll come back to it. Chris Ballard is two. They've done a really good job. And for Washington, see, this is why I just don't understand why was there urgency to do this? Why do this deal right now? I guess like the Colts.
What was the competition? Did they outbid somebody?
Here, and this is the wild thing about it. There's one team that had urgency to do it. That would be the Colts. They have urgency, so they're the ones that were, hey, it's a new league year. We got to get this thing done. We want to clear our minds, our consciences, and our books.
And usually that costs you leverage. Usually when the worst kept secret is that you're getting rid of a player, you usually don't get a windfall in return for that player. So it's like, what was the market for Carson Wentz? Better yet, that binder full of quarterbacks that the Commanders had, what was it, 40 quarterbacks? Where was Carson Wentz on this list?
42. 40 in 2 generations.
Where was Carson Wentz on that. I mean, they offered 3 1s. We know reportedly they offered 3 1s for Russell Wilson. I mean, what would I guess? Golly, dog, this just reeks of desperation when somebody was available in free agency that could have given you whatever Carson Wentz is going to give you. You mentioned Taylor Heineke. I just cannot get over the compensation. And again, usually I'm of the mindset where you're worth what somebody's willing to pay you. So I may not think that player X is worth this amount, but if a team really wants him, it's no different than the draft. You be aggressive, go get the guy you want. It costs you a bunch of picks to move up to get the guy you want. That's the cost of doing business. And again, there's inflation when it comes to this position, given the scarcity. But I'm sorry, man. 2/3?
Come on back to that free agent list.
A swap of seconds?
And I know it's glitching right now. That's all right.
2/3? A swap of seconds, and you're paying the entire salary. Like, I would love to know what the negotiation was. What was the starting point? Where did Indianapolis start to end up there?
Right.
Like, if this was the compromise, what did they ask for to begin with? What was Washington's initial offer that got them up to this? I mean, it's Carson Wentz. What is the fascination with Carson freaking Wentz? Can we get that first back?
Can we get that? Can we get that first?
Like, we all watched him last year.
So,
we all saw him against the Raiders and the Jaguars to end the season with the playoffs on the line. We saw him in Philadelphia. Oh my God! Like, this is mind blowing. There are 2 things I've been saying for a long time about this team, Michael. One, when their name was racist, I used to call them the Washington can't get rights. 2, I question everybody's sanity that continues to support this organization on and off the field. Okay, I don't understand how somebody can sit here and be a Washington Commanders fan today and feel good about him or herself. I have no idea how you feel good about yourself right now.
Talking about you, Gary Carter.
I ain't saying no names. To whom it may concern.
I'm saying that.
I ain't saying no names.
Gary Carter.
There's a lot of
Jr.
There's a whole fan base that continues to finance this dysfunction. But you were saying.
All right. A couple things. One, you realize his QBR with the playoffs on the line in Jacksonville, he had a career low QBR of 4.3. It's Carson Wentz. Okay, win one of your final 2 games against the Raiders, who were outscored by 100 points on the season. Something like that. It was bad. Okay, the Raiders made the playoffs, but they were outscored by a bunch. Win against the Raiders, or if you can't manage that, and you can't manage, throw your 200 yards, that's standard. You can't cross that threshold. All right, go to Jacksonville and beat Jacksonville. And he couldn't do that. All right, that's 1. Here's 2. Now, Michael, during Lent, I have made some decisions. I'm trying to make some self-improvements. So one of the things I want to improve on is I want to be more generous. So I feel like I've told everybody in the house, we could all give away 30% of what we got. We'd all give away 30% of stuff. We got a lot of stuff. Let's just give away 30%, starting with me. So I'm being more generous, and I'm being more accountable. So I'm gonna call myself out. I have done some things I shouldn't have done. I've said some things I shouldn't have said. I haven't said it the right way. So I remember saying to you last year, and I went a little too hard in the paint, and now I'm gonna confess that I went too far. When I said to you last year, I said, some teams don't want to win. And you took issue with don't want to win. I didn't say it the right way. I could have said it better. I'll admit that. I could have said it better. What I'm saying now is some teams are puzzling. Some teams just can't get right. Some teams make you wonder, is there something else going on that we don't know about? Is there some agenda? Do you have some internal salary cap? Do you hear voices? Is there like a devil on your shoulder that you just can't shake it? Is there something in your background? I don't understand why the Washington Commanders continue to do things like this. It blows my mind. I won't say they don't want to win. Michael, I'll say it appears that they don't want to win.
No, they don't know how. They don't know how. Some teams want to win their way, and eventually it may or may not work out. See the Bengals, which is where this debate and this argument started.
Yeah.
Or other teams just can't get out of their own way. or can't get right, which is the football team. But there were two teams in this transaction. Let's not overlook the second team in this transaction. Because even though, again, they turned the frown upside down, this one-year Carson Wentz experiment was a failure on the part of the Colts. So as Darius Leonard tweeted about an hour ago, here we go again. About to be 5 years with the Colts and 5 different quarterbacks. Thank you, Carson, for everything this year, my guy. Wish you nothing but the best. By the way, a lot of people like Carson Wentz as a person. But here's the last few years. Week 1 starting quarterbacks, Carson Wentz is the person? Yeah, a lot of people think he's a nice guy.
I hadn't heard that. Yeah. But anyway, go ahead. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't know that.
I'm not surprised that Darius Leonard
can't believe everything you read, but I've read and it
there was some
like
leadership
the
questions in Philadelphia as well.
Okay.
I think it was Philadelphia Magazine or something like that. But nonetheless, Darius Leonard, I'm not surprised at him being classy, saying thanks for everything, my guy. Is Andrew Luck, Scott Tolzien, Andrew Luck, Jacoby Brissett, Phillip Rivers, and Carson Wentz. That's the Week 1 starting quarterbacks for the Indianapolis Colts since 2016.
Hey, thanks for watching Brother from Another on YouTube. Make sure you hit subscribe before you leave, and be sure to watch us 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Peacock. Appreciate you.